Well, before we make our bad life decisions, I think you need to top me up.
Oh, okay. What's up with the dirndl today?
I was feeling, like, Bavarian today.
Oh. You should save that for the cultural appropriation episode.
Yeah, I thought of that. But Germans don't count. I think almost the frustrating thing about, like, all these comments is, like, since we pick a theme for each episode, we can't, like, we're trying to save, like, we'll do this comment next week, or, like, when people write out scenes, we'll do stuff with the scenes later, I promise.
Oh, God, yeah. We're saving each and every scene.
Yeah, we're saving the scenes, but right now we're going to try and focus, because this week we're going to try and hammer down what the plot is, so we can move on and actually start cobbling together our project, like, for realsies.
And who are the characters that act in this plot? Very important.
Piscosaurus clarified first off that the Cthulhu mythos as a concept, not any of the gaming or anything, but the Cthulhu mythos as a intellectual property is public domain, so we're good. Holla! Mm-hmm. Second, the misconception about the mythos. The overarching theme is not that the universe is malevolent, just that it is apathetic to us because we do not matter that much. All the more for us to shit on.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Shall we start with the villain? So, what we were getting a lot of was that, it should be a cult. It should be a cult of man, Cthulhu worshipping a cult.
Well, we got a lot of this.
Yeah.
Like, we had, I think the thing we had the most re-villain was cultists. And, so, there was that, but I think also, like, the idea that they're not Cthulhu cultists, but Azathoth cultists.
Yes.
Who's, like, a bigger bad.
Sarah Desnes points out that the main antagonist should be female. That you can use as contrast to the female protagonist. Then you can use these comparisons to make antagonists look even worse and female protagonists to look even better. For instance, the antagonist could dislike children while the protagonist wants to be a mother. So, the antagonist is mean and heartless, she hates love, maybe an inability to find or keep love could be what motivates her.
Yeah, but
and also, the best part about having a female antagonist is that it makes it easier for the female reader to hate her.
Yeah, and
because
we can
women
hate her too.
Women.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Am I right?
You bitch.
You whore. While on the subject of the antagonist, Christopher Emmett suggests that the Indian third wheel actually becomes sort of an antagonist by falling in with these evil cultists and using the Necronomicon to banish the Eldritch Abomination. My idea after that was that he gets brainwashed, so there's no accountability. So he's still like the good ethnic third wheel, but he's been brainwashed by the evil cultist, and that becomes part of the plot. She wants to save him.
Yeah, because they're friends.
Because they're friends.
He's like her best friend.
They're besties.
She would never be able to live without him.
They've known each other since the beginning of junior year.
Yeah. Moving on to family. I've been liking some things that have been thrown out that the parents should be scientists. One should at least... I was seeing suggestions for should be an archaeologist. Thomas de Groot mentioned that one of the parents should be a marine biologist. So
it's kind of both.
I'm thinking that the father should be the marine biologist and the mother the archaeologist. The mother goes off on a dig. Everyone thinks she's a little crazy, though.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth Smith suggests that rather than just doing search-replace versions of the parents of Twilight, they're not divorced. Rather, Flighty mother is flighty because she keeps running off for archaeology things. So that's a good starting place with the parents. Regarding the purity of our Lego brick, this one is difficult because it's really hard to define a character without giving them any real definition so that literally anyone, any white woman, can pretend to be them. Pavel Morik gave us one that I really liked. And this came in the form of a scene where our bitchy best friend, or a bitchy friend, says or does something nasty to Bella, and Cthulhu puts her in the hospital in some way, shape, or form. I did it, he started. For you. Then the problem will not be spoken of again. The bitchy girl may or may not be, like, mentally debilitated forever and ever.
Bella will never question that maybe she shouldn't be with this person because of their awesome power. No.
She just, his devotion.
He loves her so much. He can't help himself. I enjoyed Catherine Rose's suggestion that maybe Bella should have suffered from night terrors from the time she was little because of her being the only one to perceive the real universe through her dreams. I like this a lot. Like, she has a secret, unknown pain, and her parents were like, why haven't you grown out of it yet? So she keeps it to herself, because she's a teenager now. And she shouldn't be waking up from her nightmares
she just
anymore.
pretends like it's not a thing.
And that's the second book of Twilight, where in that 4 months where she's like waking up with nightmares every single night, and Charlie just gives up on giving a shit.
As parents do.
Because it's like, well, you're not dying. I mean, they'll get over it, right?
Yeah. Ghost Riddleward reminds us that Edward has to save Bella. So,
of course.
Lego Brick needs to be saved.
Right.
From rape. No less than 2, maybe 3 times.
3 times. Bless you. You signed into Yahoo just as me. You mentioned that I like the idea of her being an artist whose works get inspired by Cthulhu. Now, that gives her a little too much agency.
Yeah.
However, what we came up with is that she does create these artistic works in a dream state. So, like,
sort of like Shia in Transformers 2.
Yeah.
Like, he just all of a sudden one day, like, all these amazing abilities through no effort or agency of her own. Yeah. She never has to work for it. It just happens to her one day.
So she's not actually an artist. She's just a conduit for all these images that control her. And when she wakes up, it's like, but I can't even draw stick figures.
Anastasia Beaverhausen also suggests that she needs a flaw that isn't really a flaw. Like, she's too kind. She's too nice, but this only manifests in the first-person prose. And Max Phillips also suggests that Unbella throws around the phrase beautiful insanity every 15 pages or so.
I like that. It's so artistic.
Done.
Alexandria Lundelius points out, she was suggesting that the protagonist should be an arts crafter, like arts and crafts. I think that should be her best friend, like the fat one.
Yeah. The fat best friend. The inspiration for the fat best friend comes from a Twilight knockoff called Hush Hush, which is Twilight with fallen angels. And the fat best friend is real big in that one because, well, she's real big. Like, she eats.
Ew.
She eats.
Ideal women don't eat.
We don't eat.
We don't need to. We just drink.
Yeah. Calories. My life is hard.
And the thing about the Art Bella or Anna is that, it's that bitch, lover.
Yeah.
I hate her guts, but she's the greatest.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder what she's doing. That whore. You know, there has to be that judge love that goes on in, like, a teenage girl's mind that is awful. Totally awful, and absolutely happens in real life. But when you actually read it in a book, it's the most heinous thing in the world. Joe Drake's suggestion that we could have really awkward religious metaphors, like, he was my totem, the altar I wanted to worship at.
Ooh. The
cross I needed to kneel before more than I had ever needed anything before. At night in the mornings, on the walk home from school, I would find myself whispering little prayers to him. To go into our using great works of art to sort of lead our stories without actually influencing them. Genesis, I'm looking at you. He suggests we just go T.S. Eliot with The Hollow Men. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
So deep.
So deep. That's the beginning of our book that we will never actually reference again.
Deborah Elaine suggests that for Lego Brick's family, how about a father who's spoken of as controlling but never actually does anything controlling? She hates him for a stupid, possibly unexplained reason.
Do you want to explain informed attributes to those playing the home game?
So the idea of the informed attribute, as many of our very astute commenters commented, is that you bring something up, you define a character in the tell, don't show sort of way, and then never follow up on it in any meaningful way, especially in any meaningful way to the plot. The important thing is the perception of the reader. My best friend is a bitch. Best friend never does anything bitchy. My father is controlling. Father never does anything controlling. Cthulhu sets my spirit free. Cthulhu controls the shit out of her. So on and so forth.
Okay.
So what have we decided about our plot?
Well, I think the plot begins with...
In some way, shape, or form, ethnic third wheel's family has the Necronomicon, right?
Yes.
Somehow or other, ethnic third wheel and Lego Brick read from the Necronomicon, thereby summoning the Great Old One. Third Wheel's character development is he has the Necronomicon, he's in love with her, she meets the bad guy, or, the bad boy. Third Wheel gets shoved aside, but he knows that bad boy is the bad boy.
Okay.
Proceed with 20 scenes of them staring into each other's eyes meaningfully.
And also the what are you? I can't tell you. No, tell me.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. No one would believe you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Meanwhile, ethnic Third Wheel knows what's going on.
Yes.
So when eventually he becomes fed up, he goes to the cultists, gets brainwashed, and we go to our third act, which is effectively Love Saves the World.
Mm-hmm.
That's our book.
Yeah.
So that's our basic outline. Next week, with your comments and help, we will come up with a more concrete outline.
Mm-hmm.
But the big things that we need to start thinking out are, what are the names of all of these characters? What is Lego Brick's name?
I mean, I really want to call her Blanche Slate, but obviously that's a little too obvious.
Yeah, no, my idea was that her name is Tabitha Louise Rasa. So we need to find the names for ethnic Third Wheel, for Cthulhu as boy, and for of course Lego Brick.
Like I say, the Carlisle is Uncle Neil, and he's
You're also tip.
Exactly. Needs to happen. I will hold on to this till my dying day.
Moreover, we need to figure out what our pen name is.
But start throwing us ideas of not only what our pen name could be, but what the project name could be.
Right, and our title for the book.
And our title for the book.
Start throwing us names for things for our Carlisles, our supporting characters, our bitchy best friend, our Lego Brick, the mother, the father, the title of the book, and of course our pen name. Do all this, tweet at us at ShayApocalypse.
So after I finish this drink, all my bad life choices come to fruition, right?
No, because we framed them as good.